Hold on a second. I gotta clear some things up first. May 8th, 2022. I was just sitting there playing some Cold War zombies and watching a VTuber play Bioshock for the first time. Now I understand VTubers, the whole stigma behind it, but listen, it's just a person playing a game. That's all I want you to understand. And I'm watching them play it, and I'm like, dang, they're really liking the story, the characters. It just reminds me why I love this game so much. And then I got an idea. So I have a podcast, and I was like, yeah, that would give me some pretty good episodes talking about the Bioshock games and why I like them. Do like a little bit of a retrospective. But to be completely honest, I came up with something even more amazing. So I'm not the best at making these type of videos with gameplay and such, and even when I did, it was through the shitty upload studio on Xbox. But my vision for this video and this retrospective got so big that I had to do it. I could not stop thinking about it, man. So I might not be the best, but god damn it, I'm gonna try. So here I am, doing a retrospective of my favorite video game series of all time. One game at a time. But before we get started, I gotta address a couple things. So, I was going to use my gameplay for this video, but for some reason Xbox won't let you make game clips on any of the Bioshock games, should I say. And that's what I was going to do, but I can't do that now. So, and I wasn't going to go out and spend extra money. I don't even have that much money to begin with right now. I'm in college, goddammit. So I'm over here just trying to figure out the best way to do it, and I don't want to do this, but I'm going to use gameplay from other YouTubers, but I'm going to credit the hell out of these guys. They deserve all the credit for all the gameplay. I played the game enough to know exactly what's going on, and if I could do my gameplay, I would have done that originally, but I have to do this. So, I have to credit these guys. So, all the gameplay goes to Pato Log TV and Fallen Foggy. All these guys get the credit for all the gameplay. I'll have their links to their YouTube channels in the description. I'll even have their names on all their gameplay. Just, all these guys get the credit, okay? All the gameplay is towards them. I just hope this works out in the end. All these guys deserve it. I'm just saying, it's all them. Okay? Cool. Alright, that should clear everything up. So, let's step into the water and venture out into the world of Bioshock. And of course, with most media, there's always a goddamn monologue.
They told me, son, you're special. You were born to do great things. You know what? They were right.
Well, ain't this just a son of a bitch? So you're in a plane, just crashed, and you're the only survivor in the middle of the Atlantic Ocean in 1960. As my boy Rambo would say in Cold War Zombies, I've seen worse. Luckily, there's a strange-looking lighthouse nearby that you take shelter in. It's dark, creepy, and absolutely no noise until... well, that was convenient. You look around and take in the strange atmosphere. You continue down as more lights turn on, revealing more of the lighthouse, and you start to hear music. Not something that you would probably want to listen to in this moment, but it's kind of soothing in a way. There's these panels that talk about art, science, and industry. And then you see a bathysphere, which is the music. Well, with nowhere else to go, you just go inside and flip the switch. you submerge into the depths of the ocean. And before you can even comprehend what you're doing or why you even did this, a screen pops up and plays a little video.
I am Andrew Ryan, and I'm here to ask you a question. Is a man not entitled to the sweat of his brow? No, says the man in Washington, it belongs to the poor. No, says the man in the Vatican, it belongs to God. No, says the man in Moscow, it belongs to everyone. I rejected those answers. Instead, I chose something different. I chose the impossible. I chose rapture. A city where the artist would not fear censor, where the scientist would not be bound by petty morality, where the great would not be constrained by the small. And with the sweat of your brow, rapture can become your city as well.
Okay, what the hell is going on? So you see a city full of life, and it's under the goddamn ocean. Huh? And before you can even comprehend what is going on, a voice comes in through the radio. Okay, what the fuck? So there's a man named Andrew Ryan who built this underwater city because of his philosophy on life, on whatever. And now there's men coming to find you. This has just gone from bad to worse in the matter of minutes. But hey, all we can do is press forward.
Someone new.
Oh my god, 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 what the fuck, what the hell is going on? Holy shit, ah! No, I'm going to die, I am going to die here, I'm going to die. Oh, okay, she's going away. Alright, this is taking way too long. Alright, I'm going to start talking about the story of the game now. I wanted this beginning part to play up because it's one of my favorite starts of a game, and it just gives you the sense of the atmosphere and how the game plays out. So this will be a very rushed version of the story, gameplay, atmosphere, and all that junk. So if you really want a detailed video, there's many of videos like that on YouTube. But this is going to be a pretty long video anyway, so this is just going to be a dumbed-down version of everything and how it's going to play out. Alright, let's get back into it. So you enter the city of Rapture and you see a man get slaughtered right in front of you by a thing called a splicer. I'll explain more on what those are later, but basically just think of a person but a little more to them. That's all I gotta say about that. You hear a voice on the radio and it's a man named Atlas. You listen to what he has to say and he tells you to take a breather and to just take it in. It's a lot to take in, actually, honestly. And you continue on and you actually get to meet your first ever splicer and face him in combat. Once you're done with him, you head upstairs and you see a strange looking jar near a Gatherer's Gardens machine. And so you just walk up and take it, I guess.
Steady now. Your genetic code is being rewritten. Just hold on and everything will be fine.
This little fish looks like he just had his cherry popped. Wonder if he's still got some Adam on him. Hear that? Let's buck. Weak! You're a weak chopper. This little fish ain't worth towing it with no big daddy. Yellow! Always have been. You'll be no better off with metal daddy, little fish. See you floating upright.
Oh my god. What the fuck is that? Why the hell is there a little girl? She got no shoes on, man. What if there's broken glass? Yo, get that dang needle away from me. Oh shit, she might have hurt me. Oh my god. Yo. Chill out. Chill out. Yeah, leave me alone. Go away. I ain't got no problems with you. So what you just taken was a little known thing called a plasmid, which is basically superpowers, to be completely honest. I'll explain them more when the game gets there, but just know you basically got superpowers now, which is pretty cool. You continue fighting splicers and going through the city of Rapture as Atlas explains that his family needs your help and you're the only one to help him. With nothing else to do, you continue on.
Just maybe. I know you must feel like the unluckiest man in the world right now, but you're the only hope I'll ever see my wife and child again. Go to Neptune's bounty. Find my family, please.
So, you continue on, fighting some more splicers, and I also want to mention that there's little known things called audio diaries laying around the map. These actually tell the story of Rapture and how it went from this flourish city to becoming a dumpster dump of psychomaniacs running around. So, and they really do help the plot of the story. I won't go too much into them. I will be talking about them a little bit later. But I just want you guys to know that they're here and they'll be out throughout the game. So, yeah.
Silly. What happened? I'm bleeding. Oh God. What's happening?
You find a path that goes into a little theater area with a little girl stabbing a body. The same one that we saw earlier. Okay. You find out that they're called Little Sisters, and they carry a substance called Adam, which actually makes your plasmids, which is pretty cool. You see her getting a little bit of a scuffle with a man. Man's a child abuser, I guess. And while a big scuba diver looking thing comes out of nowhere and attacks the man with the giant drill. He freaking goes in there and freaking cuts up his guts like. But let me tell you, the first time I saw that shit, I definitely pissed my pants, bro. I was scared. You continue and get stormed by a bunch of splicers that Andrew Ryan, the guy who made the city, actually sent out to you. You escape and you get into a little conversation with Ryan. He's basically like, I don't know who you are, or either the government up there sent you, or the CIA. I don't care, and you're going to die, or leave my city. Fuck off! And he sends a bunch of splicers to come kill you. But you escape. Of course. Because you're the main character, obviously. Okay, I know I said I was about to dumb it down, but for sure this time I am dumbing it down. Promise. From here, we actually get to the medical pavilion and try to continue to Neptune's bounty. But the gate gets locked and we need a genetic key from the main doctor himself, Dr. Steinman, who kind of runs this place, to be honest. Also, with every new area, I gotta talk about the aesthetic of the place, and I'm gonna have to be talking about atmosphere every single time we get to a new level. It's just easier just because we're in the area, and it might as well talk about it, you know? So obviously, we're like in the medical facility area of Rapture, so like doctors, surgeons, dentists would probably be like around here. And running around this place, it kind of gives you like that asylum vibe, like you're running around a place full of egomaniacs and stuff. Which, I mean, you kind of are, because like everyone's insane and stuff, but yeah. It also reminds me a lot of Batman Arkham Asylum, on how, you know, you're running around this crazy ass place full of egomaniacs, which is pretty cool, honestly. This place is quite self-explanatory in why it's creepy, and how the aesthetic of the medical and surgery make you feel like you don't belong there, and it's just not a place you want to be. So, honestly, this place is a welcome in my books. I mean, hell, what's not to love? An asylum running around with egomaniacs. It is a pretty good first starting level area besides the Welcome to Rapture level, but like I said, I like it, so. Alright, let's get right back into that story. As you press through the place, you'll come across more information about the city. Oh, right, I forgot to talk about audio diaries. Alright, let's quickly talk about those. To be completely honest, I think audio diaries are my favorite way to explain more of a story without it being through the main game or through like documents and writing and stuff. The amount of attention of detail they give these things is honestly incredible. With the voice acting, the characters, just take a listen and just admire the attention to detail they put in these.
Nose, the cleft chin, the ample bosom. Wouldn't it be wonderful if I could do with a knife what that old Spaniard did with a brush?
Just beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. I love audio diaries. So glad they're in the game. Thank you. You also gain some new abilities like Incinerate, which is basically a fire plasmid. You literally like snap your fingers and a whole burst of flames go to wherever you just aimed at. Pretty freaking cool, I won't lie. And you get a telekinesis plasmid, which it's in the name. It's telekinesis. You pick up stuff with your mind. You could throw it at people. It's a pretty good plasmid, I won't lie. It's also cool because there's explosive barrels all around the map, and you can literally throw them at people, which is a plus. There's also new weapons you can add to your arsenal as well, like the Tommy gun, which is always a welcome in my books, and it makes sense because of the time period, and a pump-action shotgun. Nice, nice. You finally find Dr. Steinman and you kill him. Get his genetic key and you head back to the gate so you can get to Neptune's bounty. But you actually get into a little bit of a complication and you get to meet your first ever little sister. Okay, I gotta explain what the little sisters are because this next segment is gonna make no fucking sense if I don't explain this. Listen, I don't know what he's about to do, but I'm just gonna let it play out and hopefully whatever happens to him is bad. So, Dr. Tenenbaum, a scientist in Rapture, finds a sea slug that can actually restore people's genes and can repair the body. One of the audio logs actually mentions about this about a man who touched the sea slug and can actually start moving his fingers again that he actually couldn't move since World War II. So, She runs experiments on the slugs and actually found about the substance called Atom, which makes the plasmids that we talked about earlier. She also finds out that if you insert the slugs into little girls, it increases the amount of Atom that is created. I don't know how the fuck she got up with that idea, fucking weirdo, but I mean, alright, that explains that. So that's why they look like that. With the sea slug inside them, they're kind of like little monsters now, so yeah. Atlas tells you to harvest the little girl and capture the slug to gain more of the Atom, so you can get more powers and abilities, but you're also going to kill the little girl. But Tenenbaum, who's the person up there in the balcony, actually stops you and tells you that you can actually save the little girls and make them back to human. So, this gives you your first decision in the game. Do you harvest the girls or do you save them? See, I always saved them because I felt like a little bit of a bastard if I did so, but yeah. So you continue on and you get to fight your first ever Big Daddy. Oh god damn it, I gotta talk about those too. Okay, so supposedly the Big Daddies are a lot easier to talk about, but let me explain. So, I don't know what they were called before, but they were basically the people that would keep maintenance of the city. And since gene tonics and plasmids and Atom was a thing, they could actually make these like beastly men to keep the city of Rapture stable and can do a lot more work than normal humans can. So they were created to keep maintenance of the city, like repairing buildings, repairing leaks, all that type of stuff. Well, once the Little Sisters were created, they actually needed like a guardian to protect them while they got out and got more Atom for making plasmids and stuff. So they actually bonded the Big Daddies and the Little Sisters together, and now they're like the perfect duo. Also, the only reason they're called Big Daddies is because of Little Sisters. That's just what they call them. Nothing else. I remember how many people call me weird because they're called Big Daddies, but listen, that's just what they're called. I'm not trying to say anything. Also, people have said if they're like robots or something in there. People have just been speculating or asking me questions about if they're robots. No, those are humans in there. Their bodies have mutated so much to the point that their skin is literally that suit. Gross. So after beat him, you either save or harvest the Little Sister, and you continue on to Neptune's Bounty. Now, that whole part was about like 7 minutes-ish, but like I had to explain more stuff. So once I explain this stuff and it's just the pure levels, like it's gonna be a cakewalk. Oh, I still need to talk about gameplay and what you do. Oh. Okay, this next part is gonna be long too. You enter Neptune's Bounty and you head to Fontaine's Fisheries to continue the story. But I gotta talk about the gameplay because it's a lot of information, so bear with me, but I have to talk about it. So let's go over like the arsenal that you have to yourself. Like I mentioned, you have Tommy guns, revolvers, pump-action shotguns, all that type of stuff. I mean, it is the 1960s, so of course that type of weaponry would make sense in this time period. And with each type of weaponry, there's actually different types of ammunition that you can use. So, of course, every weapon has like their normal round, whatever that may be. But there's also, like, for the revolver and Tommy gun, there's armor-piercing rounds and also anti-personnel rounds. And then they just go crazy with the shotgun and give it, like, electric shells and explosive shells. Which, I mean, hell, I'm down for it. You can also see that the character is also running around with a wrench. Yes, a wrench. And it's, like, one of the best weapons in the game. Honestly, you can actually beat the entire game with only the wrench. With certain gene tonics you can use and stuff, this thing can become like actually like OP, which is awesome, and I love that type of stuff. Then on the other hand, you also have your plasmids. You get it? Because he uses his left hand for the plasmids? Okay, I'll stop. Anyways, the plasmids are like I said, the superpowers of the game. So you have like lightning, fire, the telekinesis, and they're also like really other cool stuff you can use, like there's like this ghost thing that can actually like distract enemies from going after you. And then there's like these gross ball plasmid looking things that have a lot of different personalities and stuff like that. So honestly, like plasmids are just one of the cool ways of just making a game actually unique to its own atmosphere. I also briefly mentioned gene tonics, and basically gene tonics are like passive ability plasmids. So they kind of just work in the background and just buff up your character. There's plasmids that make you like reduce physical damage or give you more health than Eve, and there's even one later you get that literally makes you go invisible after you stand still for so long. Definitely a welcome addition to the arsenal. That sums that up pretty well, so let's talk about the residents of Rapture who are all against you. So, most of the residents of Rapture have become something called a splicer. The reason why they're called splicers is because they've spliced up on plasmids and the atom and have become these gross contest bodies with these bumps, gashing wounds, and just overall disgusting look to them. But with all the atom in their body and the body taking in all that substance, their bodies honestly just can't take it and become these grotesque looking things. And since it is a game, there's of course different versions of splicers. So we have the thuggish splicers, which have melee weapons and try to rush you down in close range combat. And then there's leadhead splicers that mostly use firearms, and there's the nature splicers who throw explosives at you. There are different types, but I'll explain those when we get there. Now we have the different types of Big Daddies. Surprisingly, there's only actually 2 for some reason. It's honestly astonishing to me that they only made 2, but there's 2 nonetheless. There's the Bouncer, which is the one we saw earlier, like the Thuggish Splicers, rushes you down the melee combat and chases you. Also, having this gigantic beast of a man run full speed at you while your screen is shaking because of his footsteps is actually terrifying. There was no reason he should be running this fast, but he does, and he does not care. We also have the Rose Big Daddy, which you meet in Neptune's Bounty. He's more of a range-based character who actually can throw explosives. He's honestly not as terrifying as the Bouncer, but yet still way more annoying. He's honestly the reason why playing this game on a harder difficulty is an actual struggle, because he can literally just snipe you from like across the map. Now, the only reason you really engage with the Big Daddies is to get to the Little Sisters, which I mentioned earlier. And each level there's like about 2 to 3 Little Sisters, and about 9 times out of 10 that's the first thing you're going to do because you want to get new powers and shit. Also, if you've been saving the Little Sisters from this point, Tenenbaum, which is the scientist, will actually give you a reward with bonus atom, money, plasmids, and other stuff like that for the Little Sisters you save. And honestly, it's like the actual best feeling. And there are more enemies in the game, but I'll talk about them when we get there. But basically, I just explained almost all the enemy types in the game. But now let's just talk about the environment. So like what else you do besides killing people and stuff like that. So throughout the levels you can pick up cash and spend them on vending machines throughout Rapture. There's the beautiful machine of the Circus of Values that is just iconic in my head and has almost everything you need. There's also the El Ammo Banto, just the ammo machine that has literally every single type of ammunition that you need. There's also like little medical stations around the map that can just heal you if you don't have medkits. There's also 2 other machines that actually deal with something else, and that is the plasmids and the gene tonics. So we have the gene banks and the Gatherer's Garden. Gatherer's Garden is where you spend your atom to get new gene tonics and plasmids. And then the gene banks is where you can deselect, reselect, change your plasmids and gene tonics that you have stored up that you're not using. Pretty self-explanatory, honestly. Now, of course, we're in a city, so there is security that we do have to deal with. And there's 3 types of security. We have the turrets, the drones, and the cameras. The turrets are self-explanatory. They're just machines set up to slow you down. There's 2 different versions of those. There's like a machine gun version and then a rocket launcher one. Then the drones are just drones that fly around and shoot you whenever you're caught by a camera or you have security on you. And then the cameras are set up all around the level to catch you off guard and send the drones at you if you get caught. Pretty self-explanatory. Now you could destroy all these things like he just did, or if you're feeling up to it, you can actually hack these things. And say if you hack the security, you actually get them on your side and actually can help you out. Now when you're hacking, you get into this cool little mini game where you have to like connect one point to another point before it reaches the end. And it is pretty cool mini game and it is pretty fun, but I mean, it's not really like the best because you hack a lot of things in the game. You can also hack all the vending machines to get reduced prices, but this is like the one complaint I do have with this game is that hacking honestly is kind of a hassle and it gets pretty annoying pretty fast. But still cool nonetheless. Also, you can't hack gene bank machines and gatherer's gardens. I wish you could, but you can't. But yeah. And the only thing I have to mention about the environment is the audio diaries. I talked about it before and how it really adds to the atmosphere of the game and stuff like that, but I just want to mention that those are also laying around and all that. There's also looting, which is like going through containers and stuff, and basically that's just how you find ammo, money, and other stuff things. So, okay, I'm finally done talking about the gameplay. This took way longer than I ever thought it would, so thank you for all sticking. I know that took a long time, but let's get back to the story, and I still will talk about gameplay, but like it'll be very short and summed up. I literally just went through the entire game's like loop. So, alright, back to that story. Heading over to Fontaine Fisheries, you continue the story and you get stopped by a man. He tells you to take pictures of things called spider splicers. Okay, and he talks about a research camera that can help research enemies and gain advantages against them. Also, the research camera is amazing and gives you a bunch of special buffs and gene tonics, which is pretty cool. He also gives you a grenade launcher, which is definitely a plus. Okay, so the spider splicers, they are another new enemy that actually like crawl on walls and ceilings and do all these flips and jump attacks. But yeah, these guys are actually terrifying. The fact that you can hear their hooks going into walls and stuff and just going through, like, it's actually pretty terrifying. I honestly, like, definitely the creepiest splicer in the game just because of that fact. Yeah. Also, the aesthetic of this place is, I don't want to say you're scraping the bottom of the barrel, but that's literally this place, and it's actually kind of like the last resort to get your life together. No Two Bounty deals with like the capturing and disputing of fish. So like probably like the main meat source that is down here. So like lots of labor and all that type of stuff here. And with all the water in this place, it's quite dirty with mud, trash, and everywhere. It's just pretty disgusting, honestly. There's also a lot of wood in this area. I don't know if you noticed yet. But wood is like only really used in like 2 areas of the game. So it's pretty cool to hear like planks walking around and stuff. But basically this place is where like all the low life and the lower class people work. And that's really all you really need to know. Just the labor section of Rapture. So you go around taking pictures of all the spider splicers running around and stuff. And you enter his lair. But he's always like, yo, you can't bring your weapons in here. And you're like, okay, but I still got my wrench and plasmid, so I don't care. He starts talking about a man named Frank Fontaine and thinks you're actually part of his gang and you're doing his dirty work. So you kill him, because he kind of betrays you. Whoever this Frank Fontaine fellow is, must be a bad man. Nah, who cares. You press forward and go into the smuggler's hideout. Oh, yeah, wait. But before you do that, there is a machine called the Powers to the People, which is an upgrade to all your weapons. Definitely a bonus. Alright, this area is actually really short, so I can get through this in like less than 5 minutes, guaranteed. So, you run through a little cave-like system, which is actually where Fontaine's smuggling actually went through. And you meet up with Atlas, and he tells you that oh, his family's in this bathysphere, or submarine, or whatever it's called, and he needs your help to get inside to let him in. So you go over and flip this switch, where Ryan actually sends in a bunch of splicers to come and kill you. So you go through all these wave of enemies, and get to the bathysphere, until the freaking bathysphere blows up, and kills Atlas's wife and child. Atlas is all in distraught. Ryan speaks out saying, "You're not with the CIA, or anybody. Who the hell are you, and why are you here?" And just all confusion is going out. Atlas yells out and tells you to run to a place called Arcadia, which is our next area. Arcadia is the part of Rapture with the experimental forest and the botanical gardens, supplying the city's oxygen, which I'm glad we finally cleared out why we can all breathe down here in the ocean. So we have beautiful plants, trees, all around the level taking over the support beams and walls, and just nature taking over the area. It's like you're walking through a jungle, which is actually a pretty cool feeling, I won't lie. It kind of reminds me of Zetsubu no Shima from Black Ops 3 Zombies, to be honest. Arcadia is definitely one of the best levels in the game, and definitely one of the most memorable ones. I don't think I need to explain too much why. With this level, we get actually hit with a brand new enemy type, which is the Houdini Splicer. This Splicer can actually teleport from area to area, and also shoot plasmids, like fireballs and such. It's definitely one of the more unique enemy types, and I like how the gameplay keeps showing he's taking pictures of him, but there he goes and teleports. He usually just comes out of nowhere and just starts throwing fireballs at you. He's honestly, like, one of the cooler enemies to fight. He also gets pretty annoying, but yeah, pretty cool nonetheless. With this level, we also get added the U event, which is a pretty cool machine. You can actually craft ammo, gene tonics, all a bunch of stuff to your heart's content. This machine is actually like a lifesaver, especially when you don't have any money with you. It's basically like the DIY videos on YouTube that you look up once in a while when you can't afford anything. Yeah, it's basically like that, yeah. We cut through Arcadia and head to Hephaestus, which is actually where Andrew Ryan is, but we run into a little bit of an issue. Somehow, Ryan has sent out a gas that is going to kill all of the plants in Arcadia. Of course, with no plants in Rapture, there's no oxygen, so that's definitely an issue. We talk to Julia Langford, who restores the plants, but Ryan also kills her before she can restore the plants. God damn it. This man just won't quit. You find an audio diary and Julie explains on how to make the solution to save the plants. To get all the supplies, you go to the farmer's market and gather your resources. Also, when you enter Julie's lab, you get the chemical thrower that has all of these different elemental ammunitions, which is a pretty cool weapon, I guess. The farmer's market is quite self-explanatory. It's the market area of the game where the residents of Rapture came in to buy goods and produce and all that stuff directly from vendors. So nothing too much to talk about here. So just think big market area, or just think your local farmer's market. So all we do in this level is gather supplies for the solution. So this level is kind of useless. Honestly, this level didn't really have to be in the game to continue. I think they just wanted to make it just so, like, hey, there's a market area, so, like, they can explain this is where people go to buy goods and stuff. But still actually, like, a pretty cool area, so yeah. After making the solution, we head back to Arcadia and put it in the machine to restore the plants of Arcadia. Ryan sends out splicers to stop us, and you defend yourself with machines and all this bunch of stuff. And, yeah. Basically, you save all the plants, all the trees, and now we can breathe again. After that, you head up to the Rapture Metro, so you can finally head to Hephaestus and stop Ryan. Once and for all. Atlas tells you gotta cut through a place called Fort Frolic. It was taken over by a man named Sander Cohen, who is an egomaniac, insane, demented artist who really likes opera for whatever reason. Well, he is an artist, so maybe that's why. So we head to the bathysphere until
that's better. Atlas Ryan. Atlas Ryan. Da 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 da. Time was you could get something decent on the radio. The artist has a duty to seduce the ear and delight the spirit. So say goodbye to those two blowhards, and hello to an evening with Sander Cohen.
Oh my god! I love Fort Frolic and Sander Cohen. Okay, well, I'll talk about them later, but let's get back to that story. So, as you heard, he blocked the communications of Atlas and Ryan, and now, he wants us to do a couple things for him. He tells us to go to the theater to see a man playing a piano.
Da 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 da! Presto, presto! No, no!
I'm trying. Please.
Once again, young Fitzpatrick.
Da 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 da! No!
Oh God, you sick.
What the hell? Holy shit! That piano just blew up! What the fuck? So, we just see this man that was strapped to a piano that was rigged to blow up. And, yeah, for some reason we're not running away. Anyways, Sander Cohen wants us to take a picture of Mr. Fitzpatrick in all of his glory. I guess being a dead body on the floor is all in his glory. And we take that picture to the atrium.
Do you see it? When I am dust, this is what they'll point to. My quad tick. My masterpiece. Go ahead. Don't be afraid. Touch it. Yes, and there's Fitzpatrick, freed of his own kinks and defects. And here's the glorious news. This is just the moment of conception. Out in this place, there are 3 men, all former disciples of mine, all connected by a common thread, betrayal. Find them, and immortalize their mortality in my quad tick. Go. Once they've been sent to their reward, you shall go to yours, and to Ryan.
So, basically, Sander Cohen wants us to go around and take pictures of people. Wait. Didn't we do this back in Neptune's Bounty? He actually wants you to take the pictures of his former disciples and add them to his masterpiece. Once you do that, he will open up the bathysphere and go to Ryan. He gives you a crossbow as a reward, as you saw earlier, and sends you on your merry way. By the way, one of Sander Cohen's disciples is actually a Houdini splicer, but instead of shooting fire, he actually shoots ice, and I actually think that's super cool. Get it? Because I said cool, and he shoots ice? Okay, I'll get stepped on by a Big Daddy. Speaking of Big Daddies, they actually add a new type, which is the elite version of the bouncer. Nothing changes. He just looks a little bit different, and he's got like this spear-looking drill set. Maybe he does more damage, I don't know. By the way, hands down, this is the best level in all of Bioshock, and I mean the entire series. Fort Frolic is the best representation of what the City of Rapture really is, and it shows on how the city thrived in its time. Fort Frolic is kind of like a Las Vegas, where it's condensed into a small building, if you understand. So think of Las Vegas, but in a singular building. And we have casinos, strip clubs, adult stores, neon signs, theaters, the whole shebang, man. This is the part of the game that feels the most alive. There's spotlights following you everywhere you go, like you're on a stage, part of a play. The amount of atmosphere in this level is just incredible. I honestly can tell you, there is no level with this amount of detail. I honestly am ecstatic on how amazing this level is. Now, I know I just said it's bright colorful, and alive, really. But it's also dark and mysterious and creepy, just like how every other level is. There are like these icy statues that are all around the place that Sander Cohen posed himself, and they're always in like these weird, unique positions, like they're part of like a story or something. And even when you go up to them and attack them, blood comes out of them, like they're dead bodies. It's actually disturbing what is going on. There's even a part of the level with all these statues and a secret room with, I think, a power to the people station. I'm not exactly sure yet. But you go in there, use the system, and you come back out, and all of the statues are gone. Fuck. To be completely honest, when you do this for the first time, you went from a first-person shooter with slight horror to a full-on horror game. It's like you're playing Outlast, because these things don't make no noise, they come out of nowhere, and they're just the creepiest thing of all time. Now this is how you make an iconic part of a level. This is the one level I can't get enough credit to. You have to play the game to really get the feel of what I'm talking about. Like, I honestly cannot give this level enough credit. I could make just a whole video on this level. But of course I can't do that because I don't have time for that. So let's get back to that story. Once you get all the pics for Cohen and you put in the third photo in, Cohen goes into like an outburst and starts playing ballerina music.
That's 3 of 4. What's that look? You don't like it, do you? I don't need to be judged by you, by anyone. Screw you! Screw all you fucking doubters! Here's what I say to all of you! Fly away, little ball! Fly!
I mean, it does make sense. He is an artist. He sounds out a bunch of thuggish splicers that you can actually defeat in one hit, and this part is actually kind of amazing. It's like one of my favorite parts of the game. It's just so goofy. Like, it honestly is just great, and it kind of just explains like all of Sander Cohen's insane mind and all that. From that, he apologizes and tells you to go get the last photo to finish his masterpiece. Once you do, Sander Cohen comes out and actually thanks you for the work.
It is accomplished! Let me see it. My God. It's beautiful.
He gives you a reward for the trouble and sends you on your merry way. Now, from here on, you can actually just leave Sander Cohen alone. He actually won't fight you. He'll actually just walk around and look at his atrium and stuff. But if you do fight him, he actually has a key to open up a cage to have more of a secret reward. I'm pretty sure it's just money and stuff like that. But that's another decision that you can come up with yourself, and it doesn't actually affect the game in any way. Also, if you do kill him, make sure to take a picture of him because you actually get an achievement / trophy, which is pretty hilarious, honestly. Anyways, Atlas comes back on the radio and's like, "Where the hell did you go? We lost communication," and literally was like confused as all hell. But he's glad to have you back, and he says to go to Ephesus and continue your journey to kill Ryan. Here we are, Hephaestus, where Andrew Ryan lays dormant. Dang, it's taken us forever to get here. By the way, Hephaestus is actually like super down into the ocean's floor. We're like actually like on ocean floor level, so yeah, we're pretty deep in here. You go out to the entrance of Andrew Ryan's office and see that it's locked by an electrical seal, and it can't be broken. So you must find a way to turn off the power to this seal so you can get to Ryan's office. And this is where you find out where all the power of Rapture comes from. So they've built this like industry looking place to take all the power of the geysers and lava at the ocean floor to help power the entire city. Like an actual like scientific-ish way to explain how this all works. Nice. So mostly the aesthetic of this level is kind of like industry looking with lots of pipes, machines, pistons, you know, all that type of stuff. Metal everywhere. And it's just like no nature or anything. Rocks, it's kind of just like a power facility of some sorts. Which is probably what they were going for in the end. To be honestly. That honestly sums it up pretty well. This level is pretty basic, very short, but still pretty cool nonetheless. We also get a new variation of an enemy of the Thuggish Splicer that actually has lightning powers. But basically he's just immune to lightning and he has lightning based attacks, and that's about it. But at least we get something different. From here you find out that a man was actually trying to make an EMP to shut down the power of this place and get to Ryan's office. So you run around grabbing more components to finish off this EMP. Oh my god, this sounds just like Arcadia. Okay, I swear I didn't even think about it when I was first writing the script. But a lot of these areas kind of have the same gimmick, just like tweaked a little bit. That's actually kind of awesome, but also like lazy as fuck. Anyways, you set up the EMP and set it up at the main power source of the area, and you were able to turn off that electrical seal that I talked about earlier and get into Ryan's office. After entering Ryan's office, he sets up a self-destruct sequence for the whole city to blow up. This man said, if I can't have my city, no one can. So you find a way and rush into his office. But not before you find a very interesting board. And on the wall, there's a bunch of pictures of people. And you! With words saying, "Would you kindly," written on the wall. Definitely something you want to keep in mind. But you also have to stop a man from blowing up the city. So you continue onward and meet Ryan for the first time. Okay, pause it right here. I'm going to let this cutscene play out because this is honestly the best part of the game. And I think me talking about it would not give it justice. So I'll make you understand what's going on, but I'm just going to let it play out, and then I'll just talk about what just happened. Okay? Alright, enjoy.
The assassin has overcome my final defense, and now he's come to murder me. In the end, what separates a man from a slave? Money? Power? No. A man chooses. A slave obeys. You think you have memories. A farm. A family. An airplane. A crash. And then this place. Was there really a family? Did that airplane crash? Or was it hijacked? Forced down. Forced down by something less than a man, something bred to sleepwalk through life until they are activated by a simple phrase spoken by their kindly master. Was a man sent to kill, or a slave? A man chooses. A slave obeys. Come in. Stop, would you kindly? Would you kindly? Powerful phrase. Familiar phrase.
Would you kindly? Would you kindly get this? Would you kindly find that? Would you kindly find that? Would you kindly find? Would you kindly get this? Would you kindly head to Ryan's office and kill the son of a bitch?
Sit, would you kindly? Stand, would you kindly? Run! Stop! Turn. A man chooses. A slave obeys. Kill! A man chooses. A slave obeys. Obey!
Hurry now! Grab Ryan's genetic key! Now, would you kindly put it in that goddamn machine?
Okay, what the hell is going on? So it turns out you actually grew up in this city and were genetically created with Adam. Then you went up to the surface with fake memories, took a plane back to Rapture, hijacked it and crashed it, and you have been being mind controlled this entire time by the mere words of "would you kindly." And we never gave it a second thought from Atlas, because we just thought it's something he said. What the hell? Without even realizing it, Atlas tells you to run into the machine and put the key in to stop the self-destruction. And now there's one last thing to clear up.
Nice work, Bio. It's time to end this little masquerade. There ain't no Atlas kid. Never was. Selen, my line of work, takes on a variety of aliases. Hell, once I was even a Chinaman for 6 months. But you've been a sport, so I guess I owe you a little honesty. The name's Frank Fontaine.
Atlas has been Frank Fontaine this entire time. The businessman of Rapture, the one that was equal to Andrew Ryan. He came up with this alternate ego to get away with Ryan since they had their differences, and they actually sent out a group to actually go out and kill Frank Fontaine. So, with Atlas, he took over and was trying to take over the city. And now with his objective complete of taking it over, he doesn't need you anymore, and sends a whole squad of security drones to come kill you.
They say, never mix business with friendship. Thanks for everything, kid. Don't forget to say hi to Ryan for me.
Watch out, mister! Welcome back, child. Welcome to the city where you were born. You are angry at Fontaine, yes? Now you know the truth. You are his tool, brought back to Rapture to save him. You have saved many of my little ones. I owe you a debt. While you sleep, I undo some of Fontaine's mental conditioning. His control is no longer complete, but he can still pull some very unpleasant strings. We made your mind with many locks and keys. Fontaine has most of those keys, but not all. Suchong designed your mind, taught Fontaine to control you. You might find answers in Suchong's flat in Mercury Suites.
So you wake up in Tenenbaum's little safe house, and she tells you, hey, I'm gonna help you break Fontaine's hold of you, and help you kill Fontaine. Knowing that Atlas, aka Fontaine, betrayed you in the end, and used you as a puppet, I think you happily oblige to, breaking the hold that he has on you. Fontaine finds out that you're still alive, and tells you to go get stepped on by Big Daddy, and tries to use the would you kindly saying. With it not working, Fontaine says, I got other tricks on my sleeve, and uses a thing called Code Yellow, which stops your heart from beating. Code Yellow is like his last resort to use if you stop listening to his commands, and will actually eventually kill you. So, yeah, now you have more motivation to get rid of that spell that he has on you. After you leave the sewers, you go into a little known place called as Olympus Heights. Now, Olympus Heights is basically where all the higher-ups of Rapture lived. So, there are a lot of beautiful rooms, or once were beautiful rooms, should I say, with lots of large open spaces. So, mostly this is just like where all the apartments were Rapture in and where everyone, like, lived and stuff. Also, a pretty basic aesthetic piece, but just, I think, another level to explain more on how Rapture worked and stuff. So, yeah. Also, there's the Elite Rosé, Big Daddy. Just like with the Bouncer, nothing really changes. They look a little bit different. They might do more damage, I don't know, but they're also here too. You find Dr. Suchon's apartment, which is actually the man that genetically made you with Adam, and you find an audio diary that talks about a mind control antidote that Frank Fontaine wanted, just in case of precautions and stuff. Fontaine was always one of those guys where he wanted a precaution for every scenario, just in case. You head up to Frank Fontaine's office on the top floor, and you find part of the antidote. But it's not a large enough dosage to get rid of the mind control, and it has slight side effects to it, and it randomizes your plasmids. This is actually a pretty cool gameplay element, because it actually gives you plasmids you don't use, so you get to try out like almost every plasmid. Tenenbaum tells you that there is another antidote at Dr. Suchon's lab in Apollo Square, and that's where we head to next. Wait, I forgot to mention about one little area. I forgot to talk about this in my script, but you can actually find Sander Cohen's apartment if you keep him alive in Olympus Heights. And he's actually here, and he has these splicers dancing. It's actually pretty cool because it's like, you would never think you would meet Sander Cohen again, and he just comes back. And if you mess with the splicers like he's doing, Sander Cohen gets really pissed and actually comes out and tries to kill you. Yeah. Why'd they have to do my boy like that? Apollo Square is just going to be as long as Olympus Heights, so I can get through this pretty quickly too. Here you find out this place is very similar to Olympus Heights, and it's just a lot dirtier and more destroyed. Okay. And you find out it's actually made for the lower class of people of Rapture. So just think Olympus Heights, but a lot nastier and a more run down, should I say. From here, you go to Dr. Suchon's lab and find the solution to finally have complete control of your body and your plasmids. You're finally a free man and not a slave. You also find out that Dr. Suchon was killed by a big daddy who attacked a little sister, which, might I add, he had it coming. We don't condone child abusers here. After breaking the hold that Fontaine has, we get a little bit of a show that he pulls off.
You broke the spell! But laying all your chips on Mother Goose, it's not like you never been double-crossed before. You know what I'm saying? Off at the point, Prometheus. We'll discuss this like men. You, me, a submarine topside, and more at him than you can possibly imagine.
I haven't given them enough credit, but the characters like Andrew Ryan and Frank Fontaine that they show off in this game, like, they did such a good job. I really wish I had a whole part about them and the characters. But let me just say, Frank Fontaine, Andrew Ryan, those are like one of my favorite characters of media. I'm just going to say that right now. So you do as Fontaine says and head to Point Prometheus and face Fontaine.
Alright. You looking to slug it out? I'm game. But I got all the Adam in the city, pal, and I ain't shy about you. But now, I'm Jake to take her out for a spin.
What is this you wait for? Go and get this idiot!
Kraut. You keep on coming, and Rapture's a fish tank.
Scheiße, you let him get away. Oh, I need a moment for thinking. Of course. This will be no problem. Find a Big Daddy and search his body. I would suggest you to be finding a dead one. You see the suit control system? So good, get it. That is step one of turning you into one of those disgusting Big Daddies.
Wait, what are we doing again? So Tenenbaum comes up with a great idea of making you into a Big Daddy so you can get a little sister to go through the door and unlock it for you. Now, you won't become an actual Big Daddy, like I said. You won't be, like, infused with a suit or anything. You'll literally just become, like, the bare minimum for the little sister to trust you enough. So you run around gathering the components to become a Big Daddy. So, this level is actually a lot more different than the rest of the game. This area is actually the manufacturing of the little sisters and the Big Daddies. So in this area you can find a lot of areas that deal with little sisters and the rooms and just where they stayed and stuff. It also shows on how, like, making them and stuff is quite disturbing. On the other hand, we find areas that deal with the Big Daddies and the production of their suits, their weaponry, what they wear, and all this type of stuff. This area helps explains the whole backstory of the little sisters and the Big Daddies, which you literally been fighting this entire time, and their connection with each other and how they were created. Actually, probably one of the most lore-driven areas, and actually, like, one of my favorite areas that I always forget that's in the game. Anyways, you gather the components to become a Big Daddy and call upon a little sister and move on to the next area, which is a museum for some reason, known as the Proving Grounds. So, this level is kind of random and kind of makes no sense and doesn't even really need to be in the game. So, all it is a level of rapid enemies and protecting a little sister until you get to the end. The atmosphere of the place is cool. You're walking through a museum of sea creatures and a giant skeleton of a whale and stuff. I mean, it's cool, but like, there's kind of no reason for the level to be in the game. This is like the one level that just is whatever, I guess. I do think this is like a training level for like the big daddies and little sisters to like know what they're doing when they get out there in the city, but it's still such a weird like level. Like, I don't think you really need to show us that this is where they trained and stuff, but I don't know. Once you get to the end, the little sister gives you the needle thing that she actually carries around to extract Adam, and you can use that to extract the Adam out of Frank Fontaine's body. You take the elevator up and prepare yourself for the final battle.
I remember when me and the crowd put you in that sub. You were no more than 2. You were my ace in the hole, but you were also the closest thing I ever had to a son. And that's why this hurts. Betrayal, kid. Life ain't strictly business.
So here we are. The final stretch. The final battle. It's time to face Fontaine. He's infused himself with so much Adam has become this giant beast that actually kind of looks like those statues that hold the globes over their head. You know what I'm talking about? Anyways, once you engage in a fight with him, he has several different plasmids that he uses to beat you with. Has different phrases like fire, ice, and lightning. It's actually a pretty cool fight, and to see him all use these abilities in a different way than you do. But overall, this is actually a really easy boss fight. Even fighting him on the hardest difficulty, with all the buffs and plasmids you get throughout the game, the boss fight is, like, actually easy. Like, I'm sorry, but it sucks. Because of how powerful you are, you beat him quite easily, and you get the final cutscene in the game.
I had you built! I sent you topside! I called you back, showed you what you was capable of! Even that life you thought you had, that was something I dreamed up and had tattooed inside your head! Now if you don't call that family, I don't know what is! And now...
Okay, I think he's dead. Chill out! So, you know how you were given the choice to either harvest or save the little sisters? Well, whatever you did is the ending that you get. So, say that you harvest the little sisters, you sick bastard. You get the bad ending of the game. Like you deserve. And you actually take over the city of Rapture and actually fight against the surface. But if you saved all the little girls, you get the good ending and actually take the little sisters to the surface and give them normal, happy lives. But that's it. You either take over the city or go back to the surface and continue your life. And that's the end of Bioshock. Holy crap, I can't believe I actually did this. I just went through the entire game and was able to sum it up as well as I did. Dang, I did a pretty good job. So as you can see, Bioshock has a pretty big influence on my life. Playing this game really made me enjoy certain things I never thought I would like in the first place. Like the fact I'm a huge fan of the history of the 1940s and mobsters and all that type of stuff. The smooth jazz that was produced at the time. And even enjoying art style like Art Deco, which is throughout the entire game. Bioshock has influenced my life way more than I ever thought, and to be honest, I'm glad it did. I've told many people that this is one of the best games ever created, and has one of the best stories, gameplays, and just overall, just amazing game. I have never found a game that has given me this much enjoyment. Well, maybe besides Batman Arkham, but yeah. I have played Bioshock I don't know how many times in my life. I have basically mastered the game to like every nook and cranny. So, like, I honestly don't know any way I can improve my knowledge of the game. But, like, I'm just wanting you guys to know that, like, this game is literally, like, I don't want to say my career, but, like, I love this game. So, I want to thank Kevin Levine, the creator of Bioshock, and 2K Games for making this. I honestly don't know if I would even be the same person if I'd never played this game. Also, side note, back when Blockbuster was a thing, you know, like, basically, like, Netflix, but you actually had to go there to get the movies and games and stuff. I was with my mom at the time, and she told me to play this game because it looked pretty cool, and I told my mom that it looked stupid and dumb. That game was Bioshock. Ironic, isn't it? But anyways, I want to thank you all for watching the video. I really appreciate it. This video is just as long as one of my podcast episodes. That's ridiculous. Speaking of my podcast, go check it out. We talk about some pretty cool stuff over there. And yeah, I hope you enjoyed. Please like, comment, subscribe if you want to. And I'll talk to you all later.
Beyond the sea, somewhere waiting for me. My lover stands on golden sand.
Whoa, 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 cut it, cut it, cut it! Hold on a second. There's one more thing I gotta tell you guys. So, do you really want to know why I made this video? Why did I make this hour-long video? Well, it's because I want to talk about this masterpiece.